I am literally the only thing that's standing between you and drinks, so, you know, this can go two ways, really, depending on what kind of response I get here. So there's a great apocryphal story about the 15th Chinese People's Congress, and our hero Mi gets up to give his peroration about the changes to the Common Agricultural Policy that he wants to see. And after 2 hours, the 5,000 at the beginning, after 2 hours, there's 2,500, after 3 hours, there's about 500. After 4.5 hours, there's one person left in the front. And he finishes his speech and he goes up to the person in the front and says, "Thank you so much for staying. What is it about, you know, what I want to see change that made you stay?" And he looks him in the face and says, "I'm the next speaker." So, remember the drinks, folks, okay? What I want to talk about, for those of you who don't know the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, there's one thing that we focus on, and the one thing I'm going to talk about in the lens, which I'm going to talk about everything for just now, is about poverty and alleviating that poverty and helping those in poverty to get out of poverty and to have the chances that we should have and everybody should have. There are millions and millions of people in poverty in the UK right now. Every day is a struggle to make a difference, to get things meet. Poverty, as we'll be seeing in the next couple of weeks, is not getting better, it is now getting worse. And we want to see an end to that, and that is what we're here to do. And we want to work with all of you to make that happen. Last year, we decided, after over about 100 years of being in existence, to try to pull together everything that we knew about the causes and the consequences of poverty and pull it all together into a single plan, which we called Solve UK Poverty. No small ambition to trying to do that, but there is a practical, thoughtful, put together piece of work which tells everybody that they have a place to play. That's businesses, that's national governments, that's local governments, that's everybody in this room. It's people in poverty themselves. If we all pull together, if we make that happen, we can really, really begin to make a difference. One of the huge challenges we face in that is that also that we're in a society where actually people don't believe that poverty exists. Even though it is in every community, every place all around of us, there's a sense in our community, amongst our policymakers, that it's not as bad as people think it is. It's people's individual faults. It's not like Africa, people aren't starving. And all of that just isn't true. And part of what we need to be able to do and use technology and digital technology is to be able to tackle that problem as well as the one of the individuals ones that many of you have been talking about today. People have already talked about the 11 to 12.5 million people in this country who lack basic digital skills. For many families, this can be a really serious problem. It's not just about being excluded. It's about access now to activities and services as more and more things go online, more and more jobs, more and more access to benefits, and absolutely calling for a systemic and massive overhaul of the adult skills programme in this country, into which at the heart of has to be a really thought through, intelligent, good way of putting digital skills at the heart of that. We need to do this as soon as possible. We've called for a doubling of that availability by 2030. We also live in an economy that often feels that it's weighted against people in poverty. There is something fundamentally wrong in your economic system where people in the poorest people pay more for their goods and services than those who have money. We call it the poverty premium. Is nothing premium about paying more for your electricity, more for your gas, more for your bus fares, more for your food. It's just wrong. It costs some families nearly £500 every year. And digital skills have to be an essential part of tackling that problem and beginning to take something to do about it. But it's that lack of access, it's that lack of skills, it's that lack of confidence that it can be about you, it's for you, and it can make a difference. So to respond to this challenge, we are also working with Big Society Capital and others towards what we call the Fair by Design Fund, an acceleration programme to support digital startups who have innovative ideas to tackle that premium. The aim of this fund is to provide companies with the resources and support they need to pursue their ideas in a way which will help markets work better for people living in poverty. And that ranges from everything to sustained, significant investment in new power companies who do not put meters in, do not charge the retrospective, do not charge people more money. That type of startup, right through to all sorts of different things about people can access skills and jobs as well. But we are absolutely putting our money into trying to end that poverty premium, to disrupt the markets which make poor people pay more. So what is the digital context for that work and that fight against poverty? We know things need to change, they can change, and we all can work together to make a society and economy that works for everyone. It's only through collaboration, however, and embracing digital technology that we're able to build that movement, that real, genuine movement for change across the country to solve poverty. And that's why it's really pleasing for us to see how much the conference today and the Good Things Foundation are really focusing on that and what you've been talking about today. I used to I've advised, worked with many charities over many years, and over many years charities have been told that they had to get digital, they had to digitize, they had to do that. You ask most charities what their digital strategy was, they would tell you that they were on Twitter and they were on Facebook. That's my daughter, that's not a charity trying to reach out to excluded people. And my daughter's better at both of those than most of the charities that were saying that they were doing it. So we absolutely have to think about this in a different way to really, really begin to understand how we connect with people in our communities, that people are in poverty, and how we can make that happen. The other thing that's really, really important to us is that it becomes and should become an absolute, genuine way to get people's voices who are in poverty into the mainstream. There is so much that's good about that and so much that's bad about digital technology and access to these types of things, but we need to balance that out. We have communities that are so far excluded from this, and their only route into the mainstream is not through the national media, it's not through local media, it is using this type of technology to give their voice, to accelerate it, to make people feel heard, to make that they feel it and make an actual difference to their communities and the communities around them. So we're already trying to work out how, for example, we work with an institute called the Frameworks Institute who work in the States about how do we talk about poverty, how do we really talk about people in poverty, how do we use technology, digital technology and others to bring those voices, to change the narrative, to allow us to have a proper discourse that is not the binary one that we have now in this country. But we also, as an organisation, ourselves are a landlord. We run care homes up in York and Harrogate and Scarborough and Leeds and around the country. And we've already been working with the Good Things Foundation as well to train up our staff to become digital champions like we were hearing about earlier on, so that we go into our communities and make that a reality for them as well. That's not all. Digital skills are absolutely essential for the 21st century, and we're aware of the fantastic work the Good Things are getting. So get ready now. We're coming to that woo moment now. Just thinking ahead now, folks. Remember the drinks. That's why today, I love this kind of stuff. I really do. All my jobs as a charity, this is a bit of build-up. Come on, we're going to get it going. It's the end of the day. I have a picture which I send to, I send one to my mum every time. She's got this whole collection we heard earlier on about the little boy with the box. My mum has a picture of me cutting a ribbon with a comedy pair of scissors. I've got a comedy check that's the same size as me. I've got little openings of kind of the ones with the curtains. That's really good. That's really quite hard to talk and do that all the time. I've got ones pressing buttons to launch websites. But this is the first one where I'm launching a competition with real money, our real money in it as well. So today, right now, and when you leave, I even have props, you will get a badge. And on that badge, it says, how would you use £2,000 to help people spend less money? That's basically it on a badge. I'm absolutely and really genuinely delighted to officially launch the Community Challenge Prize, which is a partnership between ourselves, the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, and Good Things. We know there are lots of people, like many of you, working out in communities, and you're the best place to discover what innovations and solutions are being used to make a really practical difference to people's daily lives. There's creativity, there's energy, there's innovation going on in communities across the UK, and we want to recognise and support this to flourish. So the prize is an opportunity for you to share your solutions, and the question being asked is how would you use that to save money? The prize will award 10 £2,000 prizes, the best ideas to support their implementation, and then you can go off to Bethnal Green Ventures and they'll help you to get to the next stage. I've just tied him into that. He had no idea I was doing that. I'm really sorry about that. Now let's see you get out of that. The prize opens for applications after this conference. It closes at the end of January. The best 60 ideas will be taken through to workshops, and the final prizes will be awarded in June 2018. You just need to go to the Good Things Online Centre's website after this to get it. We are absolutely and utterly committed in everything that we do, and we are passionate about one thing, because poverty, as Nelson Mandela said, is man-made. It is not a natural form. We can change this. We can do this. It seems sometimes, as with some digital things, with technology, it all seems too big. It seems too complicated. It seems too difficult. We can't solve this. We can solve this. We really, really can make a difference. We can change people's lives. We can absolutely bring an end to poverty. What we want to do is utilize your skills in your communities with your skills to make that happen. We're doing that across the country in lots of different ways. I look forward to hearing about the ideas. I look forward to spending some of our money. Let's really go out there and make a difference. Thank you very much for your time.